Hello, guys. For our second lesson, I mentioned before we were going to talk about pronouns, but I think it would be more beneficial to first talk about the Hindi verb to be. This is a very important verb in any language, especially English. In conversation, you find yourself using this verb to be quite often. In English, we have the forms am, are, is, and these are very common words in English, and they're very common in Hindi as well. So the Hindi verb to be has three main forms that we're going to talk about. Before that, we're going to talk about this concept of first person, second person, and third person, and what that means. So first person is when you're talking about yourself. I. You are the first person. Yourself. You are the first person. Second person is when you're talking to someone directly, and we say you. And third person is when we're talking about something that's kind of off in the distance maybe, or we're not addressing directly, and third person would be like it, he, she, something like that. So the first person pronoun in English is I. The second person pronoun in English is you. And the third person pronoun is he or she or it. And so when we talk about first, second, and third person, that's what we mean. It's a very important grammatical thing to know what the first, second, and third person are. So first person is yourself, second person is someone who you're directly talking to, and third person is someone that you're not directly addressing but still talking to. A third person pronoun could also be a name, like Joey or Roger or something like that. And in English, the verb to be has forms I am, you are, he, she, it, is. So to be in English is am, are, is. You wouldn't say I are or I is, and you wouldn't say you am. These don't make sense. They have to match up. So we have to make sure that when we use verbs in a sentence, we're using them with the correct person, the correct pronoun. So if you're going to say I, you have to use am. I am okay. You are okay. He is okay. They have to match up. So now I'll talk about the Hindi counterparts here. I in Hindi is may. You is aap, and he, she, it is ye. And this is an asterisk here because this isn't the only third person pronoun in Hindi, but we can talk about that a little bit later. In the verb here, the verb form, in Hindi the verb is called hona. It means to be, but its forms are hu, ho, and hey. So, मैं हूँ, I am, आप हो, you are, ये है, it is. And we kind of saw this in last lesson. When you say आप कैसे हो, you, how, are. And then you respond by saying मैं ठीक हूँ, right? I am okay. You, how, are. So in this case, we're addressing someone with ap, so we use the verb ho. In the second example, we're addressing someone with me, which means I, so we use the first person version of the verb hum. So anytime in Hindi you hear hey, it's a very, very common verb in Hindi. This is maybe one of the most popular verbs and popular words you'll hear people talking about in Hindi. The very common phrase TK is using this verb here. Some people think that when you say TK, you're using two letters, kind of like this, TK, but you're actually using two words. You're saying tik, hey. Tik translates to okay, and hey, we already know means is. So basically, it is okay. So when you're saying TK, you're basically saying it is okay. So definitely memorize these three versions of the verb to be. They're very important. Anytime you're talking about yourself, you're going to use who. Anytime you're talking about second person that you're addressing directly, you're going to use ho, and anytime you're talking about a third person object, you're going to use hai. And these are the most basic Hindi verbs.